Cool. Yeah, so a crazy San Francisco story, probably not that crazy for many of us who live here because there are a lot of homeless and a lot of crime that takes place. But basically, maybe like 2 years ago now, my partner and I were awoken at like 6 a.m. on a Sunday to the smell of smoke. And we thought, oh my God, like, did we leave the oven on? What's happening? Because not like fire smoke, more like food is burning smoke. So we open the window to our backyard, and there is a homeless man using our barbecue, flipping salmon. And my partner like stuck his head out of the window and was like, "Hey man, like, get out of our backyard," you know, like breaking and entering sort of thing. And the guy was really nice, like super apologetic, and we didn't get the sense that he was being malicious or anything, but still like had to break in, you know, across boundaries to get into our backyard. Anyway, so he's like, okay, I'll clean up and leave. So we're like, okay. And 10 minutes later, he's still there grilling, whatever. And Ross was like, okay, I'm gonna have to call the cops, you know, if you don't get out, sort of thing. He's like, okay, like I'm leaving. And he goes, this is the nicest grill I've ever seen. And we're like, oh, so you do this a lot? Like, do you break into many people's backyards and compare their barbecues and grills? Anyway, so he finally left. And what's funny too, he had his own like spices that he carried with him, along with the salmon. Anyway, we thought it was weird, brushed it off. Like 3 days later, we're getting ready for bed, and it is one of those like smart barbecues, so it's attached to an app. And we get a notification saying your grill is heating up. Anyway, we look back and this guy is back again. And this time we actually call the cops because what is criminal and malicious, I guess, is like we took the extension cord away the first time. But what he did was he broke into our next door neighbor's garage, somehow found an extension cord to extend to plug into our pellet grill next door. And anyway, like, as you know, San Francisco, the cops didn't do much. Like, they didn't tell him to leave politely, but they just go, yeah, well, he was just heating up his pizza. And we're like, well, we don't really care what kind of food it was. Like, he broke and entered our backyard. So that's my story. I hope that's good for your channel.
Trust me, that is the craziest story. That is so funny.
Because it's like, I mean, do you live in San Francisco?
I live in Pacifica.
Okay, yeah. So I'm sure you hear stuff like that. It really wasn't that shocking, you know, because of like these crazy stories you hear of unhoused people breaking in.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure, you know, people will watch this video at other places. They're going to say, Americans are so nice. They don't say anything.
Oh, yeah, too nice. Because, I don't know, it was like, part of me was like, oh, well, you know, he took it seriously when the cops told him to leave, but also it's like, the cops didn't really care that much, you know. So he hasn't been back since that incident, which
it's been
is
2 years, right?
Almost.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, a year and a half or 2 years.
And what is your message to people who live in San Francisco?
It's to be ready for anything, and that I feel lucky since like I have heard crazy stories of people getting hurt and, you know, like dangerous people breaking into their homes. This was nothing like that. So, you know, lock your doors and be prepared for anything to happen like that. Cause gosh, yeah, I've seen like, or heard stories of, you know, I had a like friend of a friend who like lived in a house with 3 or 4 other girls, and one of the roommates was like out of town for a few weeks or something. They later learned there was a homeless woman like squatting, I guess is the term, in this bedroom. They only learned this when the homeless woman like came out to get water or something. They later learned she like totally overturned this bedroom, was like living out of it. It's just very creepy things like that, you know, that happen. So yeah, not a good message for people to move to San Francisco. But yeah, that's kind of the world we're living in.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah, you're welcome.